If you already know how write a good subject line, let's see how write a greeting in an email. Which greeting you use in email depends, of course, on who you are writing to, how well you know the person, and your relationship with this person. Let's consider several situations. If you do not personally know this person, have not met him, but know his or her name, you can use these greetings. These appeals are more formal. And what greeting is used for a man and what greeting is used for a woman? Yes. Mr. we use to refer to a man, and Ms. used for women. If you know the person's name and want to be less formal, you can just use the name. If you reply to an email and another person has already used his name in custody, in such a situation, you can use the first name and greeting. But we must not forget that we do not use Mr. or Ms. with the person's name. In a formal emailing, we don't need to use the word dear. In many cases, we can only use the person's last name, with Mr. or Mrs., or first name. If we want to be a little informal, friendlier to someone we know, such as a friend or colleague, we can use hello, and first name. Let's now consider the case, when you don't know the name the person you are writing to. In this case, it is best to use dear, with the position of the person. But please note that, we do not use the name of the company after the dear, we address an email to a person. But of course, there may be situations, when we want to send an email, to a group people, in that case, we can use something like this. The last two, are considered more informal. And there are situations, when we don't know a person's name, or the position of a person. In that case, we can just omit the greeting everyone, and just start with the body of the email. How important is punctuation? Well, mind you, we use a period after Mr. or Mrs., at the end of the greeting we use either colon. You need to turn also to the fact that, there is no place before a comma or colon. This is how letters in American business style look like, but the punctuation may differ, in the styles of other countries. For example, in British English no period after Mr. or Ms. Let's see, how to write closings in emails. There are a number of ways, to close an email. Of course, the most formal way, is to use sincerely. You can use this with someone you don't know, or when the topic of the email is very serious. Usually, we use one of the following closings. You can choose, one or two you like, and use those. Mind you that, we always have a comma after the closing. In an email, we can just put our name at the end. Of course, sometimes with a dash before the name. We usually do this, with people we know well, such as colleagues, friends, loved ones. We can also include our position, the company we work for, and our phone number.